All right, New York Knicks fans, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Knicks sports talk and entertainment. The Knickerbockers have done it. Back in the playoffs after 8 years. Oh, what a day, what a night. We are currently in the 6th seed spot. And you know what? It's the fight for 4th and home court advantage through the first round of the playoffs. We got the big game against San Antonio tonight. We got to get these wins, guys. We got to get the playoffs. Well, we got the playoffs. We got to get the home court in the playoffs. I'm just so excited. I've been a Knicks fan, of course, since the 70s, like everybody knows. I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen the highs and lows. I've seen Stevie Francis and Stephon Marbury going back to Ken the Animal Bannister. I remember Brad Wright falling into me underneath the basket. I believe it was in the 85 season, I remember. It was a bad season. It was another bad season. I remember Amari Stoudemire coming to the Knicks and holding his hands out in front of MSG, saying, arms out in front of MSG, saying, we're back. And the Knicks were back for a short period of time. But you know what? This is a team that is built well. This is a team that is built from the foundation up. This is a team and an organization that somehow has turned it around. If Coach Tibbs does not win or be in major consideration for Coach of the Year, I don't even know why that award was invented. The same with Julius, Mr. Randle. If he is not the MVP, or again in the top 3 of the MVP, why is that award even around? He led the renaissance, the resurgence of the New York Knickerbockers. If we omit Randall from this team, come on, we got nothing. Not that doesn't we have nothing, but we are not going to be in the same spot that we are right now. It was good to clinch a spot, and now let's get greedy. Let's clinch that 4th spot. Even Randall said, check it off the list. Knicks, but we're not done yet. 7 straight seasons of lottery picks. I mean, come on. 7 straight seasons. And I saw some bad years in the 90s. Or I should say late 90s, early 2000s. I saw the bad years. But 7 straight years. This is something to celebrate. RJ Barrett, man. Only 20 years old. He is going to be a cornerstone of this team. Even when he seems to have bad games, he does something to contribute somewhere on the court. Why he may never be Zion. And I do not think Zion is coming to the Big Apple because everyone's way too early with that. But even when he does something, Randall, and have a bad game, he still contributes in other ways. And like I said, he does not have the talent of Zion. But I think his career arc is going to have more of a longevity than Zion's because of the way Zion's built. And I think RJ has room to grow into his body and learn how to be a better NBA player. And teaming him up with Julius Randle, what is a better way to do that? Then you still have guys on the team that, like I say, we are a team of contributors. I know a lot of Knicks fans hate Peyton. I like Peyton because to me, Peyton is a professional point guard. He still averages 10 points. He averages, I don't remember how many assists he's averaging right now. I think he's only averaging like 3.5 assists, but 10 points, 3.5 assists. Only a steal, not even a steal a game. But he's only turning the ball over like 1.7 times a game, which is what you need. He is a facilitator. He needs to attack the rim more, but you know what? It's his defense that keeps him on the court and his ability to keep the motion offense, the movement offense going. And then you team him up with a 32-year-old Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose at his 15.1 points a game is 4.3 assists. Only turning the ball over 1.4 times. Awesome. I did a video and I loved when we picked up Derrick. I loved him at a second stint till, the whole issues, but I always said it and you go back and listen. The Knicks, to me, were always a quality point guard away from being a serious playoff contender this season. And they went out and got Rose, and I think they're like something crazy, like 14-3 with Derrick since he's been back. I can't remember the exact statistic. But Derrick's not going to be the long-term answer, but we're not worried about the long-term answer right now. We're worried about the way this team is built in the playoffs, and they're built in an interesting way. I think for a short series, the Knicks will not be an easy out for any team. And I'm looking at you, Brooklyn. You have Reggie Bullock starting. Still averaging 10 points a game. 29 years old. Good player. Good solid shooter. You mix him in with Alec Burks at his 12 points. Nerlens Noel. I loved him in Philadelphia. I've said this before. I was there watching Philadelphia during the process. I thought once they went with Okafor that Noel's days were numbered. And the mistake he made was, of course, he didn't make the mistake going to Dallas. They sent him to Dallas, but not signing that contract. But their loss is our gain. And you got Taj Gibson. You got Quickly still. Quickly is he's the Energizer Bunny. He is going to be our Vinny Microwave Johnson from the old Detroit Pistons days. And even Obi Toppin is starting to contribute. Not always contributing in the stat sheet in reference to points, but he's doing the little things. He's doing the other things. And that's what we need. We have a roster of guys where it's always the next man up. You are stepping up when you're needed. You are stepping up when necessary. And that's what this team needs. And that's what makes you dangerous in the playoffs. The other thing that makes you dangerous in the playoffs is defense. Being a good defensive team and a solid defensive team in the playoffs, that just makes you dangerous. And that's what this team is. And that's what Coach Tibbs has built. He has built around the philosophy of movement and defense. Now, if we had a little bit more outside shooting, I'd feel a little bit better. Am I saying that the Knicks are going to go on and run, are they going to make a deep run into the playoffs and get to the finals? There are a lot more talented teams than the Knicks, but I don't think there are more cohesive teams than the Knicks. Guys that seem to enjoy playing the game together. Guys, if you watch them on the court, seem to understand where that player is going to be. It's never, you see some of these things, especially in Brooklyn, that if someone does something stupid or misses a shot, that the veterans get on the guys. This team is full of young veterans. And I'm talking kids, kids. Yeah, well, to me, a kid is 29. But I'm talking, guys that are in their 20s. I mean, you take a look at the roster. Randall, 26. Barrett, 20. Bullock, 29. Robinson, 20. Derrick Rose, 32. Alec Burke. I keep saying Alex. It's Alec. Alec Burks, 29. Peyton, 26. Noel, 26. Quickly, 21. Toppin, 21. You look at it, and it's a team constructed and has the ability and the youth to move guys in and out, and they don't get on each other's cases. The key, if we want to talk about the offseason, is going to be extending Randall. And then with the number of first-round picks that we have and the assets that we have, I don't want us to go out and get a superstar and screw this up. Amari Stoudemire's first season, I've said this even back in the day, he was having an MVP season before they traded him for Melo. And then the wheels kind of fell off the bus a little bit. They were a couple games, before Melo, they were a couple of games under 500. After Melo, they were basically the same team. And the fluidity of the offense was not gelling, because it's difficult to bring in a superstar at the point in time they did with Melo, especially around the assets they gave up. I don't want them to do that with this team. I want this team to stay young. If you want to get a veteran, go get a young veteran. Go get a guy in his early 20s, or at least no more than 26. And that's the way this team was constructed. You have to give all the credit in the world to Leon Rose. You really do. He understood the philosophy of building, and I didn't think he would, be honest, I admit it, but he understood the philosophy of building a team. And he understood letting his basketball guys do their work. And James Dolan, you know what? Everyone likes to hate on James Dolan, and I don't like James Dolan either. I've met him a couple times at Knicks functions. He's a nice guy. At least he's a nice guy to your face. But he's been out of the Knicks operations since he hired Phil Jackson. You really haven't heard a peep out of him. He went and got a staff and got an executive team that built this team the right way and has built this team for the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that's what this is about. And we have to congratulate the Knicks for their first playoff appearance and closed in on a decade. We have to try to get that fourth spot because I'm greedy. Now I'm greedy. I want a home court advantage through the first round of the playoffs. That's what I want. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Knicks sports talks and entertainment. And as always, if you can like, if you subscribe, if you ring that bell, you know what it means. If you